What's up, guys? Mike Wiedenbach here. Friday, not afternoon yet, collab with Brandon. We shall talk about the more unhealthy side of fitness. I know it's a real downer, but there's something to be learned in the sense that what happens if fitness takes your life over and what you can do to get out of it and what the repercussions are. So I'm just going to let Brandon tell his story briefly so you guys get a sense of what we're all about. Brandon, take it over.
Well, essentially, when I started lifting weights when I first came to New York, which is 2 years ago, and I started lifting for the same reasons where I guess all young guys, like 20 years old, that want to start lifting, and I wanted to do it for vanity's sake. You know, I wanted to look better. I thought that it was going to change my life because people would perceive me differently physically. So I did some research online and found Mike here, who helped me out with the entire journey. I know I was a bit OCD at the beginning, but we made it and we survived, and we're still working together. But in essence, I went from sort of being ambitious, cutting from when I was 20% body fat, and then going gradually, like withdrawing myself from the pleasures of life until I eventually needed to seek like therapy and like medical help for my issues. So I think this is something that's under talked about today in the fitness community, and I'd like to bring it up.
So, Brandon, I mean, this is difficult to determine, but what would you say, what was the drop-off point or the cut-off point between I want to look healthier to the point where I'm getting obsessed with food and dieting and training, I'm just going to not go out anymore and be miserable? Was it a specific event, or was it more like a slow erosion, like a sliding slope? What would you say? Like, did something happen? Did somebody tell you, like, you should look like this and be like that? Or was it more like in your own head that you felt like, yeah, I could do better, I should do this, I should do that?
Well, I think I slowly, it would happen over time in a way because like Mike here gives out a fantastic meal plan. So I just started following that meal plan, and at the beginning it was extreme. I thought it was healthy. I actually did it with my mom and my friends who also wanted to get a little healthier. And at first it was to just get a little healthier, feel a little bit better, even physically. But eventually, you say, as being the sort of the goal-driven person that I am, just naturally, I started saying, I'm going to weigh my broccoli, and then weighing your broccoli becomes, hey, I'm going to skip Saturday night out with my boys, or I'm not going to go eat bar food even a little bit, and normal, and skipping one Saturday became skipping 2 Saturdays, and then that just spiraled downwards. So
let's talk about the dark days, like when from my recollection, I would say it was January, February, which, in New York City are not the easiest months to begin with in terms of weather and light or lack thereof. So, I mean, go into as much detail as you feel you want to do, but what was it really like when you were, in the dumps, we're talking like binge eating, being unmotivated and so on and so forth. What was that like?
Well, I think the real turning point was because I had stopped being social, and I used to be a guy that liked going out on the weekends with my friends, and when I stopped doing that, I realized at one point in January and February that because I was I became so socially anxious and self-conscious, it actually ruined my self-confidence, ironically. So what I set out to do, which was lift and look, was actually backfired on me physically. So in January and February, I didn't go out at all because I couldn't really do so. And as a result of that, I lost a lot of my friends. I lost a lot of connections with first year at NYU. I'm currently a third year junior, so I couldn't. It's a bit loud. Yeah.
Okay, so those are the dumps, We're in the gym, so there's some background noise. You guys have to live with it. But let's make let's get the curve toward the positive. How did you get out of it? What made you get out of it? And what do you think, for the people that are watching and listening, hopefully, what can they learn from what you experienced that would make them maybe not even get into that slump, or if they're in it, to get out? I know that's a lot.
Well, I think first of all, it's like, you of like, why are you binge eating? Why are you developing an eating disorder in the first place? And you have to be honest with yourself. Like, do you want to look better, or do you want to recover mentally? Because for me, like, I was in bed all day. I couldn't do anything. I was physically uncomfortable. Actually, like, my T3 and my testosterone was a little bit low even for my age, at like, from just excessive dieting. And like, so I had to really prioritize getting, like, as Mike advised me to get my mental health back on track before I could do anything else. So I guess I would say the first thing is to see, like, are you skipping meals with your friends? Do you have a life? Are you weighing every single ounce of broccoli? Are you afraid of that one extra teaspoon of halo top? Does that really matter? And I think the first thing is to just tell yourself that if you're good most of the time, so if you're good on your diet, like 6 days out of the week even, and you might blow it off one day a little bit, not go crazy, but nothing's going to happen. And I think that was actually one of the things I learned too. I was always like looking at myself in the mirror. If I like had rarely, in the rare case during my slump that I went out to eat, like I would look in the next day in the mirror and I'd be like, I look a little, and I realized, like, through these 6 months that, like, on some of these binge days, I'm talking like 5,000 calories plus of like sugar, like other crap food that, like comfort foods, right? Because carbs and fats are comforting. So, like, I'd say, through that couple months, I still had my abs, so because I kept going to the gym, which is my next point is, never ever stop going to the gym, because, like, if you quit on gym too, then you sort of quit on everything, because exercise also really helps with mood, I've realized. And, just going to the gym for even 30 minutes, cutting your sets in half, even if you feel physically and emotionally like crap, like, it can really, like, it might help prevent the 1 day binge into a 2 day binge. And that's also another thing. It's like, you don't want to make like a 1 day binge. You don't have to make it into 1 day binge to a 1 week binge, because a 1 day binge isn't really going to do anything. And I'm sure you guys have heard Mike in his other videos saying that, your body actually can't store that much body fat. And on YouTube too, like, if you look at some other YouTubers, they study that even if you eat 10,000 calories, your body can only like store about 1 pound of body fat, just because of what's the science? Yeah.
So the storage mechanisms are not there yet if it's one meal. But I think the takeaway from all this is that, there's a couple of things. Like, first of all, you can derive your entire self-worth of the way you look. If that's you, then that's really a problem. And if you see yourself or others down that slippery slope, such as, like, never leaving the house to eat, or never doing anything but training, or always talking about training and eating, then that's probably a warning sign that should be addressed. So, Brandon now just got a contract for next year for Runway, which is great, but I will still be watching him like a hawk to make sure he doesn't slip back, okay?
Oh, thank you.
And with that, we leave you guys. Have a good weekend.
Thank you, guys.